Welcome to Fakin' It. I'm Cookie, and I promise to take what I learn in this room to my grave. Couple quick words before we jump into the game, and it is skippable because I'm not a monster. During each round of play, each of you is going to be sent a task to your device. Like, raise your hand if you've ever farted. But one of you will get nothing, and that person is the faker. Everyone wants to figure out who the faker is, and the faker just wants to blend in. When you hear the go sound, you either raise your hand or not, depending on whether you've ever farted before, which you have. And the faker just has to fake it. After that, everyone votes on their device who they think the faker is. If everyone picks the correct person, the faker is caught. But here's the most important part. Fakers, if you're caught in a lie, if you raise your hand when you really should have kept it down, lie, cheat, deny, come up with whatever story you have to throw other players off the scent. Be the faker. Some of the tasks will involve raising your hand, or pointing, or maybe making a weird face. But there will always be a faker, and you'll have 3 chances to catch him. Oh, one more quick suggestion before we get going. It's important to be able to see each other, so if possible, consider sitting in a semicircle or like small lines facing each other. Whatever works best while still feeling comfortable. Let's start with Hands of Truth. It's an easy one, just like we saw a minute ago. Everyone's going to get a task that involves raising your hand. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. This was the task. Raise your hand if you like to drink whiskey. Vote for the faker now. You can change your vote if you change your mind, by the way. The faker can only be caught if the vote is unanimous, so do your best to come to a group consensus. You get 2 more chances to catch that faker. Sending your second Hands of Truth task to your devices now. And the task, raise your hand if you never got detention in high school. Vote for who you suspect is the faker. Not enough teamwork to find the faker. Last chance to catch the faker. Sending out your third Hands of Truth task now. The task was, raise your hand if you have children. Alright, vote for who you think the faker is. And the votes were for... Group Mind steered you in the wrong direction. Okay, time to pick the next category. Use your device to pick which type of tasks you'll all do together. It's going to be Hands of Truth. Everyone's going to get a task that involves raising your hand. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. And the task was, raise your hand if you dislike dogs. Vote for who you think is probably the faker. It's easier to catch the faker if you all talk to each other. Throw around some wild accusations. You didn't find the faker, and you didn't really learn anything definitive. You get 2 more chances to catch that faker. Sending your second Hands of Truth task to your devices now. And the task was, raise your hand if you regularly get 7 or more hours of sleep. Vote for who you think seems like the faker. You couldn't quite figure out who the faker was. This is your last chance to catch the faker. Sending out your third Hands of Truth task now. The task was, Raise your hand if your last name is longer than your first name. Vote for who you suspect is the faker. You know how you should all rally together in the final moments to work together and find the faker? You didn't do that. And what will our next task category be? Use your device to choose which type of tasks you'll all be subjected to. Just want to leave it to chance, huh? Okay. You got a point. Everyone's going to get a task that involves pointing at another player in the game. Okay, sending the task to your devices now. This was the task. Point at the person you'd want to be trapped on a desert island with. Alright, vote for who you think the faker is. Don't forget you get points for voting for the faker even if everyone else is wrong. That faker is still on the loose. You get 2 more chances to catch that faker. Sending out your second You Got a Point task to your devices now. And the task was, point at the person you think would give the best hugs. Vote for the faker now. You couldn't agree, you couldn't find the faker. One last chance to catch the faker. Sending out your third You Got a Point task now. task: point at the person you would most like to see attempt an impression of Kim Kardashian. Vote for who you think is probably the faker. You couldn't even bother to try to pick the same person on the final task, huh? You pretty much just let the faker have it. Okay, it's time for the last round. Text you up. I've sent 3 questions to each of your devices. Type in your answers for all 3 and then hit send. Now the faker has 3 questions to answer too. They just have slightly different questions than everyone else. So good luck, faker. You're almost out of time to get your answers in. Let's see everyone's answers to the first text task. Something you do not do on a first date. Vote for who you suspect is the faker. Not enough teamwork.